Okay, here's another email sent to me from Adonis Paul that is antagonistic and harassing and malicious in intent. Hi, Mary. Sorry to bother you again, but since you did not abide by the terms I set, which was simply to stop talking about me, I am making a new video on you and wanted to ask you a couple of questions to ensure I'm being fair. Your videos today have been very interesting and I want to dive deeper into them. Number one, if your mother is an accessory to your child abuse, how are you not an accessory to Roberta Law's murder? You have stated your mother was scared, threatened, and beaten nightly, but you were willing to file charges against her. You give the same story about Kenneth McBride that he threatened you for silence, and you claim you're not an accessory under not only the same circumstances, but your mother seemingly under worse ongoing ones. Please explain so we can have clarification. Okay. My mother was married to a man who was beating her and had handicapped her child. He also sexually abused his children, and she stayed married to him for 30 years. She knew what was going to happen every night, and she stayed. She chose to stay. She chose to continue having children with him. The police came once and they told her that they could have us all out of there before he got home, and she punished me for them coming. That's the difference. The second I felt like there was a problem with Kenneth, I tried to leave. The first time he hit me, I tried to leave and found out that I was trapped. My mother never tried to leave. Never. She was proud of where she was. She loved him and she did not care what he did. That's the difference. She stayed for 25, 26 years knowing what was going to happen every night. The second I knew what was happening in that house, I tried to get out. I didn't know who Kenneth McBride was. When I met him, he told me his name was Brian, and he was younger, and he was rich, and he had a good job. I didn't find out the truth until much, much later, and as soon as I was capable of leaving, I left. My mother never left. She still defends our father. She still defends him. I know she's dead now. She went to her grave defending the man. That's what the difference is. She was proud of being with him, no matter how much he hurt her or her children. She was proud of it. I left an abusive marriage. I posted it out on Craigslist and a man replied to, and I got lured into a trap. My father never lied to my mother about his name. He never lied to her about who he was. She always knew who he was, and she chose to stay with him. There is a big, big difference between knowing a person is abusive and choosing to stay in the situation and finding out that something bad is going to happen and trying to leave and finding out that you can't. My mother refused to leave. I didn't. I left. I left, and I went to the police the second I got away. My mom never went to the police. She never told anybody the truth. Not after he died. Before he died, she told everybody who would talk to her. But after he died, of course, she changed her story, and he was just the most wonderful fucking man in the world. Did your mother actually commit the sexual abuse on you? If not, who are you charging her with? I assume accessory, but please clear this up. Child abuse. I was being forced at the time to try to press charges against my mother for child abuse because Kathy was saying that if there were no charges filed, then it was never a thing. They have convinced me that if the police were never involved, then it never happened. But a lot of child abuse cases, the police are never involved. It's very common, especially in the 80s and 90s, for abused children to never have dealt with an idea of escape. From the police, at least. By your own admission again, your mother was violently abused. If that's the case, why are you not an accessory to Bubba's abuse he suffered? Once you turned 18, you left home and never reported it. I get that you say you were scared and abused and all that, but wasn't your mother also abused? I left home at 18 and I did report. I actually did make a report about it. It's not my fault that nothing ever comes of those reports. I spoke out multiple times during my childhood that caused the police to come to the house and caused me to be punished because the police came to my house. How is Kathy do what I want or I'll hurt your sister or grandkids, not blackmail? And in the case of do what I want or I report this thing from 18 years ago as a crime, how is this not extortion by the exact letter of the law? You're not allowed to tell someone do this for me and I will hide this crime. That is a crime in itself. Thanks in advance for your timely answer to these questions. And you'll notice that I never responded to him. I didn't say do what I want or I'll hurt your sister. I said that if having legal police reports is the only way to prove it, then I will have to file police reports against my mother. Retroactively. Because what other way do I have of getting police reports to say that there was child abuse when they weren't reporting it back then? When nobody was saying or doing anything about it. Nobody cared. I have been desperate to be believed for so fucking long. Okay, here is more. This is the last thing he ever sent. He sent me from this one, which was, oh, you couldn't even hang in there for an hour and make your 60 back? Ha! Well, bye-bye PayPal. In any case, you're a weakling who shouldn't be on YouTube if 30 people in a chat can force a freak out on you. You panic quit. Nobody sent you $60, you weak, pathetic fool. And you stole a $5 donation. You didn't read it or do what you agreed for it. That's gonna be a PayPal report. If you had half a brain, you would put on your big girl panties and stream a few hours a day in Big Bank. But we both know you're too scared and emo to do that. Can't handle basic questions. But hey, at least you don't have my $400. I'm gonna watch your stream on my own channel now and make a few hundred off your back just because you stole that $5. Fair use law says I can use your content for the purpose of criticism and commentary, just like your supernatural episodes. Nice talking to you. Thanks for the content. I will definitely think kindly on you as I roll around in all the money you were too stupid to take and more. Hey, you should do a stream showing the evidence of all your cyberbullying. Oh wait, that idea requires you to put in effort, so you wouldn't do that. Well, I'm gonna go back to silently watching you freak out and blame me for 30 more Adonis Paul accounts that are not mine and claim I'm harassing and stalking you, though this is literally the only contact we've ever had. A mutual email exchange, and I have video proof of you asking for in regards to an interview. Frankly, if you do 100 videos talking about me for every one I do of you, any court would see you as the aggressor, which you are. Or alternatively, don't be such a pussy. Go and try and live. What will it be? You being a pussy and always wondering if you could be a streamer? All that regret and try again like an adult. I just want to show y'all how many messages were not responded to. There's 3 and that one, and then 4, 5, and 6. And he posted somewhere in here that he knows if he sends over 7 without me responding that it's harassment. So that's why he stopped at 6. And he started changing his accounts to make it look like he wasn't the one messaging me when he was. Alright, these were letters I was receiving. They were threatening me and saying that they were sending a cease and desist. Your legal cease and desist letter has been attached. I will also include it in the body of this message. Your receipt as the correspondence has been confirmed. The letter serves as a formal notice to Mary Barone, hereafter referred to as the accused, to immediately cease and desist the public mention or reference to Adonis Paul, Late Night with Adonis Paul, or any legally protected trademark subsidiaries of Virgie G. Please be advised any further mention or reference of Adonis Paul on social media or in public, including YouTube, Facebook, or any public platform viewable without a password or paywall, will be met with legal repercussions up to and including a protective order against you protecting my client from your public defamation. Additionally, if mention of my client or any of his businesses, direct or indirect, is recorded after this notice, I will pursue both criminal and civil claims against you for violation of the laws protecting against defamation, as well as, in the case of protective order violation, a criminal charge of contempt of court and violation of protective order. This is what they're calling a cease and desist, but it's not a legal cease and desist. And they have my actual address there to prove that they have my address. This is a way that they are pretending to intimidate me legally by pretending to send me legal papers to stop me from speaking out about what they have been doing to me.